We will begin today in a child's pose. So finding yourself in a tabletop shape. Begin to bring the big toes together, open up the knees nice and wide, and then start to sink your hips back towards your heels, keeping the hands lengthened in front of you. So finding the openness in the knees, allowing the torso to soften down towards the ground. Taking the first few moments in the beginning of this practice to find stillness in the body. Giving yourself permission simply to arrive today. Begin to bring the awareness to the physical body. Feeling the tops of your feet gently resting on the ground. Feeling your shins resting on the ground. The crease in both your knees and your hips. Allowing your seat to feel heavy towards your heels. Reaching the arms long in front of you, keeping that length in the spine. Begin to release the tongue from the roof of the mouth, softening the muscles in the face and the jaw. And start to change the awareness, focusing on your mind, noticing both mentally and emotionally, what is it that you're bringing with you into this practice? Accepting yourself for exactly as you are in this moment, no matter what you are feeling. Then gently begin to shift the awareness to the breath. Finding your next inhale, taking a deep breath in through your nose. Exhaling through your nose as you press all of that air out. Inhaling through the belly, feel the ribs expand on the inside of the legs. And exhale through the nose, release. Taking your time to draw deep breaths in, about 3 to 4 seconds. Exhaling through the nose just as long, just as deep. Allowing this breath to physically connect you to your body as it moves you throughout your practice. On your next inhale breath, begin to pull up to fingertips, coming back into our tabletop shape. Bringing shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. And on an inhale breath, lifting the chin, the chest, the seat, allowing the belly to soften. Exhale as you curl, dropping chin to chest, rounding in the spine. Inhale, lifting up, belly softens. Exhale, curl, rounding in the spine. Again, inhale, lifting up, soften in the body. And exhale, curl and round. Inhaling back into a neutral spine here. So taking our focus just over our fingertips, pulling the belly button to the low back so we're not sinking in the spine. On an inhale breath, reaching the right arm above your head, keeping the core nice and strong. And exhale, return to tabletop. Inhale, reach the left arm long above your head. And exhale, return to table. Taking the right leg back. Inhale, extend the right leg, floating it just off the ground, keeping the core strong. Good, exhale, return to table. Inhale, extend the left leg long, reaching it back behind you. And exhale, return to table. Taking our bird dog here, reaching opposite hand and foot. Inhale, right arm, left leg back, reach in the body. And exhale, return to center. Inhale, left arm, right leg reaches, bird dog. And exhale, center. One more here. Inhale, right arm, left leg. Can you float the right toes up off of the ground? Using that core strength, maybe falling over. Coming back to center. Inhale, reach the left arm, right leg. Keep the core strong and see if you can float those left toes off of the ground. Coming back through center. Moving through a few more cat and cows here, allowing that movement into the body. Feeling that breath. On your next inhale breath, coming back into that neutral spine, really spreading the fingers out wide so our weight can be even between our fingertips and the heels of our hands. On an inhale breath, tucking the toes under. Lift the knees up 1 inch so they're hovering just off the ground. Feeling the strength it takes in our shoulders, core, and legs here. Exhale and touch the knees back down. Keep the toes tucked. We'll take that one more time to push back into our downward dog. Tucking in the toes, lift the knees up 1 inch. And exhale, push the hips up high, downward facing dog. Take a moment here to pedal through the heels, bending one knee and then the other. Coming to find some stillness here. Sink the hands and heels to the ground. Take a moment to shake the head yes and shake the head no. Releasing any tension in the back of the body. On an inhale breath, rising up to the balls of your feet. Exhale to travel forward to the top of your mat, finding a forward fold. Taking a moment here to bend into one or both knees, releasing as you feel that stretch in the back of the hamstrings. You might even release the bind of the arms, bringing hands to opposite elbows or surrounding your knees. Gently releasing the bind of the arms if you've taken it. On an inhale breath, lifting up halfway, reach hands to shins or thighs. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale, sweep up to stand, reach the hands up high. On an exhale breath, taking a twist over to the right. Reaching the arms to a T. Inhale to lengthen back through center, and then exhale to take that breath and twist over to the left. Inhale, lengthen back through center. Bending the elbows, lift the chin and chest up, small back bend here. And inhale, lift it back up. Float the heels off the ground, playing with the tippy toe balance today. And on an exhale breath, hinging forward, reaching through the top of your head, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, pressing hands to shins or thighs. Exhale to fold forward. Plant the hands, stepping the feet back to plank pose. Option always to bring the knees to the ground. As you inhale and shift the weight forward, exhale to bend the elbows towards the ribs, lowering down through chaturanga. Inhale to scoop the chest, shoulders down and back. Arms may straighten. And then exhale to tuck the toes, lift the hips up high, coming back into our downward facing dog. As you do so, really pressing through the hands and the heels, feeling that nice big stretch in the spine and the back of the legs. Moving through our sun salutation again. On an inhale breath, rising up, exhaling to travel forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, reach from head to tail, and exhale to fold. Inhale, sweeping up to stand. On an exhale breath, opening the arms to a T as you twist to the right. Inhale, lengthen back through center, and exhale to take the twist over to the left. Inhale, back through center, bending at the elbows, lift the chin and chest up high, small back bend. Inhale to lengthen back up. Again, option to float those heels up as you play with that tippy toe balance. And then exhale, fold it forward, reaching through the top of your head. Inhale, lift up halfway, reach from head to tail. And exhale to fold. Hands plant, feet stepping back, taking any version of this vinyasa that feels good in the body. As you inhale, shift the weight. Exhale to bend the elbows, lowering the torso. Inhale to scoop the chest up. And exhale to find that downward facing dog again. We'll take our sun salutation through 2 more times, allowing your body to go at its own pace, taking what you need along the way. As you're ready, inhaling up, exhaling, traveling forward. Finding that halfway lift. And eventually sweeping up to stand. There's a twist to the right and to the left. There's a small back bend that happens at the top. And then that option for a tippy toe balance. Eventually coming back into that forward fold and taking our vinyasa here. As you're ready, moving through the sun salutation one more time. Taking your time to enjoy the journey that you're on today with your body. Finding those twists, and if you forget what you're doing, no big deal. Just keep the body moving. Taking that vinyasa one more time. And we'll come to find our downward facing dog. Coming back to your breath in that down dog. On an inhale breath, rising up to the balls of your feet. Exhale to travel forward to the top of your mat. Stepping the feet completely together so the insides of your feet are touching. On an inhale breath, lifting up halfway, reach from head to tail. Exhale to fold. Inhale, sweep up to stand, reach the hands up high to the sky. From here, begin to rotate the pinkies forward, pull the shoulders down. Finding a gentle press between legs, knees, and inner thighs. On an exhale breath, bending the knees, lengthening the tailbone back, but keeping the torso reaching as you find Utkatasana. Keeping that pressure in the legs, pulling the belly button to the low back, so we're lengthening the spine. Gently begin to shift the weight back into the heels, floating the toes just off the ground. Keeping the weight back into the heels, return the toes to the ground. See if you can deepen the bend in that chair pose. On an inhale breath, lengthening up to stand. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale to fold. Hands coming to surround the right leg, step the left leg back behind you. Keeping the left hand planted. Inhale, twist the right arm up high to the sky. Opening right shoulder and hip here to find that twist. Keeping the left leg nice and long behind you. Keeping that right arm reaching. Exhale to bring the right knee to the ground. Reaching that right hand back towards the right toes. I'm sorry, right hand towards the left toes. And if you can, deepening those hips towards the top of the mat. And you might be able to find a bind, maybe you don't, that's okay. Just deepen into that hip flexor and quadricep stretch as you continue to twist over that right shoulder. On an exhale breath, releasing the bind, extending the left leg back behind you. Sink the hips back as you straighten the right leg, coming into our half splits. From here, I want you to pull that right hip towards the back of the body and see if you can lengthen those hands towards that right ankle. Hugging the torso to the leg, deepening into that hamstring stretch here. On an inhale breath, shifting the weight back over the right leg. Tuck the left toes, lift the left knee up. And step the left foot forward to meet your right back into your forward fold. On an inhale breath, lifting up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Hands coming to surround the left leg, stepping the right leg back behind you. Keeping the right hand planted, inhale to twist the left arm high to the sky. As you do so, pulling that left hip and shoulder back, stretching that right leg as straight as you can. Keeping that left hand reaching, touch the right knee to the ground, reaching back towards the right toes with that left hand. Again, maybe you find that bind, maybe you don't. See, wherever you are, if you can deepen the torso towards the top of the mat, twisting that left shoulder open to the sky. Exhale to release the bind of hand and foot, extending the right leg back behind you, sinking the hips back as you straighten that right leg, half splits. Again, bringing those hands close to that left ankle, really stretching over that left leg, hugging the torso to leg to deepen into that hamstring stretch. On an inhale breath, shifting the weight back over the left leg, tucking the right toes under, lift the right knee up and pause. This time stepping the left foot back to meet the right. We'll move through our vinyasa here. Remember, you can always come down to your knees. You can even lift one leg up as you move through chaturanga, taking exactly what your body needs from this practice. Coming back into downward facing dog. We'll begin to move through that little flow one more time. On an inhale breath, rising up to the balls of your feet. Exhale to travel forward to the top of your mat. Bringing the feet completely together. On an inhale breath, lifting up halfway, reach from head to tail. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep up to stand, reach the hands up high to the sky. Begin to rotate the pinkies forward, pull the shoulders down. Already pulling the belly button to the low back so we're lengthened, we're not sway back. Pressing the legs together. On an exhale breath, bend the knees, tailbone back, keep the torso reaching. Utkatasana, fierce pose. Just like we did the very first time, shifting the weight back to the heels. Sending that weight backwards allows us to deepen the bend in the knees a little bit further. Finding that strength in the legs as they press together. Keeping that core nice and strong. On an inhale breath, lengthen up to stand. Exhale, fold it forward, reach to the top of your head. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale to fold. Hands coming to surround the right leg, stepping the left leg back behind you. Same three poses here. Plant that left hand, inhale, twist the right arm open. As you do so, I want you to imagine that you can reach that right hand up so high that you take weight out of that left wrist. On an exhale breath, keeping the right arm reaching, touch the left knee to the ground, reaching the right hand back towards the left toes, possibly finding a bind. Maybe you can bring that left elbow down into the ground, twisting that right shoulder open as you hug that foot to seat. Releasing the bind, extending the left leg back behind you, shift the hips back, straightening the right leg for your half split. If a full split is in your practice, feel free to move into that here, wherever you're going to feel that hamstring stretch the most. On an inhale breath, shifting the weight back over the right leg. Tuck the left toes, lift the left knee up, stepping the left foot forward to meet your right back into your forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale to fold. Plant the hands to surround the left leg, stepping the right leg back behind you, low lunge. Keeping the right hand planted, inhale, twist the left arm open, opening up shoulder and hip. Same idea here, imagine that you could reach that left arm so high that you take weight out of the right wrist. Good, you you guys. On an exhale breath, touching the right knee to the ground, reaching the left hand back towards the right toes, hugging them in if that bind is available, perhaps bringing that right elbow down onto the ground. Continuing to twist over that left shoulder. Releasing the bind of hand and foot, sinking those hips back as you straighten the left leg this time, half splits. On an inhale breath, shifting the weight back over the left leg. Tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee up. Again, stepping the right foot forward to meet your left forward, both at the top of your mat. Taking a moment here to pause, noticing how the body feels. Begin to heel toe your feet towards the edges of your mat, toes out, heels in. On an exhale breath, bending the knees, dropping the tailbone to the ground, Vinyasa pose. Option here to keep the hands grounded or to bring them up towards heart center. Wherever you are, I want you to imagine that you can push those elbows into the knees to find that external rotation in the hips and knees, lifting the chest up high to the sky. So we have length from the top of our head through the back of our sits bones. On an exhale breath, bringing the hands to the ground. Inhale, lift the hips up high, toes turning forward, pausing in this wide-legged fold. Taking a moment here, maybe shifting the hips right to left, stretching into the back of the legs. And on an inhale breath, begin to heel toe those feet back together. Lifting up halfway, reach from head to tail. Exhale and fold. Stepping both feet back to plank pose, moving through that vinyasa here as we find ourselves back in downward facing dog. Taking a moment, closing the eyes, coming back to the breath. Begin to firmly plant the hands and heels into the ground, lifting those hips up high. Allowing the chest to sink back towards the tops of the thighs. Feeling that stretch in the body. And on an inhale breath, reaching the right toes high. Exhale to take your knee to your nose for a crunch. Inhale the right toes high to the sky. And exhale to step the right foot forward between the hands, keeping the left heel lifted. Inhale to reach the hands up high to the sky, coming into our crescent lunge. As we do so, deepening the bend in that right leg, knee over toes, really reaching that left heel up high to the sky. On an exhale breath, bringing the left heel down, opening the arms to a T as you face the long edge of your mat for Warrior Two. As you do so, pushing the outside edge of that left foot down, deepening the bend in the right knee. You've probably heard me say before, but most of us do not take our Warrior Twos deeply enough. Dream world, we have that right thigh bone, our femur, parallel to the ground. Yeah, that's usually what we're like, you want it where? See if you can deepen the bend any amount. Reach those fingers away, you've got it, you guys. Keeping that nice deep bend. Exhale as you bring the right forearm to right knee, left arm reaches up and overhead. Now here we're usually able to sink those hips a little bit lower, really feeling that stretch from left wrist to left ankle. Keep that side bend reaching, opening up that left shoulder. Good, you guys. On an inhale breath, reach those hands up to stand, straightening both legs, toes towards the long edge of your mat. 5 star. Exhale, reach to the top of your head, finding a wide-legged fold here. You might be even wider than you were after we found that Vinyasa pose, that's okay. We're going somewhere more fun now. Turning the toes out, heels in, keeping the hands on the ground, bend your knees, sink the tailbone down as if you were taking a wide Vinyasa, but we'll call this goddess pose. Gently begin to bring the hands up to the knees, lifting the chest any amount that you can. Next option is bring those hands up towards heart center, using the strength in our legs to suspend us in this pose. Good, everyone, keeping that nice deep bend in the legs. On an exhale breath, hands coming back to the ground, keep those knees bent. Shift the weight over towards the right leg, straighten the left leg, side lunge, Skandasana. So that right leg is in that same external rotation that you found through Malasana. Left toes might turn up towards the sky, lifting in the torso and the chest. On an exhale breath, turning to face that right leg, tuck the left toes under, keep that left leg reaching, and step the right foot back to meet the left, moving through your vinyasa, and coming back into downward facing dog. When you're ready, taking the sequence through on the left side, on an inhale breath, lifting those left toes high to the sky. Exhale to take your knee to your nose for a crunch. Inhale, left toes high to the sky. And exhale to step the left foot forward between the hands, keeping that right heel lifted. On an inhale breath, reaching the hands and chest up, crescent lunge. Now, same idea here, deepen the bend in that left leg, keep that right heel reaching. Torso nice and upright. On an exhale breath, bringing the right heel to the mat, opening those arms to a T, finding warrior two on the left. Again, deepening the bend in that left leg, aiming to get it parallel to the ground, keeping the outside edge of that right foot reaching. Fingers reach away, shoulders pull down, focusing over that left hand. On an exhale breath, bringing the left forearm to the left leg, reach that right arm up and overhead. Deepening the bend in that left leg, really reaching for that side bend stretch here. Extended side angle. On an inhale breath, reach both hands up high to the sky, 5-star, finding that length in the body. And exhale as you fold the torso over, coming into your wide-legged fold. Turning the toes out, heels in. Keep the hands on the ground as you exhale, bend the knees, tailbone drops, goddess pose. Now this might be enough to keep a little bit of weight in our hands just to feel that openness in the hips. The next option is to bring those elbows or hands up towards the legs, encouraging that external rotation in the hips. And then the final option, I shouldn't say final because there's more fun things to come. The next option is to bring those hands up towards heart center, keeping that nice deep bend in the knees here. So we really have to use the strength not only in our hips, but in our hamstrings to suspend this. On an exhale breath, bringing the hands to the ground, shifting the weight over towards the left leg as you straighten the right leg this time. Coming into that Skandasana, or side lunge. Using that left arm to open up the left hip. Right toes might turn up to the sky. Good, you guys, and when you're ready, shifting that weight to face the left leg, lifting the right heel up. Step the left foot back to meet the right. Moving through that vinyasa. Finding your way back to downward facing dog. And if your body needs a moment to pause in child's pose or take a few cat and cows, feel free to take that now. We'll be moving through that sequence again and adding on part 2. Which, fair warning, part 2 is all balance poses. I don't know what I was thinking, but oops. Beginning to make your way back into that downward facing dog. And an inhale breath, reaching the right toes high to the sky. Exhale to take your knee to your nose for a crunch. Inhale, right toes high to the sky. And exhale, step that right foot forward between the hands. Keep the left heel lifted. Pause. So most likely we have to deepen the bend in our knee enough to bring our hands to the ground. Feel that left leg stretching back behind you And see if you can keep this leg as low as it is right now as you begin to bring the hands up. Hands and chest lift, knee stays bent. Feel it in that right leg, stretch in the left. Begin to bring that left heel to the ground, open towards the edge of your mat. Keep that nice deep bend in the knees. You can do it. And if it's a little bit uncomfortable, guess what? That's okay. Deepening the bend in that right leg, reach the fingers away, focusing over that right hand. Keeping that torso straight. And then exhale breath, bringing right forearm to leg, left arm reaches overhead, extended side angle. Option here to deepen the shape, bringing that right hand in front of the right toes, keeping that left arm reaching. As you do so, notice the hips need to sink lower to the ground to make that shape happen. Using that left hand, inhale, sweep yourself up to 5-star, toes facing the long edge of the mat. Exhale, fold the torso forward, wide-legged fold. Pausing here. If it's in your practice to take an arm balance, whether that's crow or tripod or headstand, take a moment here to play around. If not, just keeping that nice deep stretch in the hamstrings, maybe shaking those hips right to left. And when you're ready, walking those hands back through center, turning the toes out, heels in. On an exhale breath, bend the knees, drop the tailbone. Inhale, lift the hands up towards heart center, goddess pose. Go ahead and open those arms to cactus. So we're bending at the elbows, arms are wide, hands are reaching. And as promised, there was more fun. On an inhale breath, lift those heels up. Keep the knees bent, really feel that work. Breathe, you guys, you've got it. Release those heels, release the hands. Shifting the weight over towards the right leg, straighten that left leg, side lunge. Option here to find a bind of your arms or simply opening up the chest, bringing the right hand in front of the right toes, left arm reaches up high to the sky. That might be enough. The next option is to reach the right arm around the right leg, left arm behind your back to find a bind here. Rolling that left shoulder open. Releasing the arms if you've taken it, walking your weight over the right leg, lifting that left heel up or back in that low lunge. On an inhale breath, walk the hands forward, float the left leg off of the ground for a grounded warrior 3. Notice that that left shoulder and hip are facing the ground, so we're parallel here. Option to bring those hands up, either heart center, airplane above your head. They really could go anywhere as you start to play with that balance in the body. On an exhale breath, bringing the right hand to the ground, inhale to twist the left arm open, half moon pose. Rolling that left shoulder open just like we did in that dragonfly twist in the beginning. Keeping that left leg pressing back behind you. Good, everybody. On an exhale breath, both hands come to surround the right leg. Step the left foot forward into a forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale to fold. Inhale, sweep up to stand. Reach the hands up high to the sky. And exhale, both hands towards heart center. Shifting the weight over towards the right leg. Begin to squeeze the left heel towards your seat. Very similar to that low lunge with the twist we took earlier. Finding a bind here, option to bring the left hand back towards the left foot. Now most of you know where we're going, so you actually have a choice. You can keep your hand on the outside of that foot, or you can flip that grip to the inside. Both are perfectly acceptable. One just might feel better in your body than the other. Continuing to squeeze the legs together, pressing hand to foot and foot to hand. Start to lengthen the left leg away from you, reaching the right arm, coming into dancer pose. The only reason our torso should tip forward is because we're pushing so much through that back foot. Finding that balance, beautiful, you guys. On an inhale breath, releasing the bind, stepping that left foot back to meet the right. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale to fold. Plant the hands, step the feet back to plank pose. Moving through that vinyasa here. Finding your way back to downward facing dog, and we'll take that sequence through on the left. I did switch sides in my mat, just so that I wasn't sticking my booty in your face. So if you get confused, I turned around, not you. Beginning on the left side, you guys, on an inhale breath, reaching those left toes high to the sky. Exhale to take your knee to your nose for a crunch. Inhale, left toes high to the sky. And exhale, step that left foot forward between the hands. Keep the right heel lifted. Now you know what's gonna happen. I want you to feel that nice deep bend in the left leg. See if you can maintain it as you lift the chest and the hands up. Right heel's lifting up as high as it possibly can. Straightening in that right leg. Crescent lunge is just one of those poses, either you love it or you hate it, because it's so difficult. It's like all you're doing is a lunge, but also all you're doing is a lunge. Woo! On an exhale breath, bringing the right heel to the ground, opening up towards the long edge of your mat. Warrior two on the left. Deepen that bend in the left toe, so really feel like you're reaching that left knee over the toes. Keeping that right leg straight behind you, pressing the outside edge of that right foot. Keeping the torso upright, fingers reaching, shoulders pulling down. So much activity in our warrior poses. Bringing left forearm to knee, reach the right arm up and overhead, finding that extended side angle. Option here to bring that left hand in front of the left toes, deepening the bend in that left leg as you sink those hips low. Keeping that right shoulder open. Using that right hand, inhale, sweep yourself up to 5-star, turning the toes towards the long edge of the mat. Exhale to fold it forward, reach to the top of your head. Again, you guys, if an arm balance is in your practice, go ahead and play with it. And maybe that means you're keeping your feet on the ground today and you're just kind of shifting that weight forward, noticing how that feels in the body. Play around. Be curious about what your practice could look like. And then begin to walk your hands back through center. Turning the toes out, heels in. On an exhale breath, bend the knees, drop the tailbone. Finding that length in the torso, reach those hands up towards heart center. Keep the hips nice and low. Option to open those arms up to cactus. Bending at the elbows and the arms, keeping the belly button reaching to the back of the body so we're nice and strong here. Inhale, lift the heels up. Keep those hips low, you've got it. Good, you guys. Bring the heels down, bring the hands down, shifting the weight over towards the left leg, straightening that right leg to the side, Skandasana. Option to bind the hands here, bringing the left hand to the outside of the left foot, reaching the right arm up high to the sky. Now that might be enough to kind of open up through the shoulders, but you can also bring that right hand behind the back, left hand around the left leg, reaching that right shoulder up high to the sky. Releasing the bind, walking the weight over the left leg, tuck the right toe under, keeping that right knee lifted for our low lunge. On an inhale breath, shifting the weight forward, sweeping the right leg off of the ground. Now watch that we're not rotated open like we would be in half moon. We're going to keep that right side body turned down towards the ground. Option again to float those hands up, heart center above your head, maybe airplane. Lots of options there. See if you can find that balance as you reach from the top of your head to the back of that right foot. On an exhale breath, bringing the left hand down. Inhale, twist the right arm open, half moon pose. Pressing energy through the back of that right leg, opening up that right shoulder to find that balance. Beautiful, everyone. Exhale, both hands down onto the mat, stepping that right foot forward to meet the left. forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold it forward. Sweeping up to stand. Bringing the hands together towards heart center. Finding our dancer pose on the left. Shifting the weight onto the left leg, sweeping that right heel back. So starting here, this might be enough of a balance today. The next option is to bring that right hand back to the right foot and find a bind. From here, squeezing those legs together so our knee doesn't slide out to the side. Pressing foot to hand and hand to foot, allowing the leg to fall away from the body as you gently tip the torso forward. Again, taking that bind of the hand wherever you prefer it, whether that's on the outside or the inside. Reaching that left arm long, keeping that left leg straight, finding dancer pose. Good, everyone. Stay for one more nice deep breath. And exhale, step that right foot in. Reach those hands up. Exhale, fold it forward. Taking a nice deep bend in both knees, bring yourself into a seated position on the mat. Planting the feet to the ground, squeeze the inner thighs together so our legs are squeezing together just as they would in Utkatasana. Reach the arms out in front of you. I like palms up here because it helps me pull my shoulders to the back of the body. Keeping that torso lifted, begin to hinge the torso back, floating the feet just off of the ground. Navasana, boat pose. So watch that we're not rounded in the body, we're lengthened in the shoulders and torso. Finding that strength through the core muscles here. Coming back to your breath. Option to straighten those legs, reaching the forehead up towards the toes. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, bringing yourself into a seated position. Taking butterfly or cross legs, maybe your legs are straight in front of you. Simply taking a moment here to pause. Noticing what's happening in the body. Is the pace of your breath faster than when we began this practice? Are you still focused in this present moment on your mat? Continuing to breathe in and out of the nose, allowing the body to slow down. Moving into the next part of our practice, I'll give you an option to either take figure 4 on your back or pigeon pose. Pigeon pose is great, but sometimes it's too much pressure on our knees or our hips. So taking what your body needs in this moment. If you are taking pigeon, we'll come into a tabletop shape. If you're taking figure 4, laying down on your back and crossing that right ankle over the left knee. For pigeon, tucking the toes, lifting the hips up, coming into downward facing dog. Before reaching the right toes up high in the sky. And bringing the right shin forward towards the wrist. So right knee to right wrist, right ankle to left wrist. Pausing in this upright shape. Lifting the chest, open up that right hip. Even if you're taking figure 4, really reaching that right leg away. And then wherever you are, begin to soften over in the pose. If that's pigeon, walking the hands forward. If that's figure 4, releasing the tension in the neck and the shoulders. Allowing the body to start to slow down here at the end of our practice. Holding these shapes for longer periods of time. Usually between 4 to 6 minutes. Which allows us to get past that stretch in our muscle deeper into the tissues, ligaments, and fascia. So sometimes you'll notice that as you hold this shape in the beginning, there's a lot of stress or tension in the body. But as you can continue to sit with it, those sensations tend to ebb and flow. Hands back out of pigeon or extending both legs long beneath you from figure four. Coming into a tabletop shape in that pigeon pose. Wherever you are, extending that right leg long, allowing energy back through the knee and hip. Moving that knee out to the side or making small circles with the leg. Beginning to find this shape on the other side, whether that's pigeon pose or figure four, knowing that our bodies are not symmetrical and we may need the other shape on the other side, honoring the body that you've brought with you today. Wherever you are, feeling that nice deep stretch through the left hip. Taking the first few moments here just to feel how this side might be different from the other side. Begin to close the eyes. Allow the body to settle into this shape, surrendering to the pose. press back into the hands, slowly making your way out of whichever shape that you've chosen. And just as you did on the right side, taking a moment to extend length into that left leg. Feeling free to move that hip and knee around a little bit here. Lay on our backs, gently hugging both knees into the chest. Begin to bring the bottoms of the feet together, opening up the knees to butterfly. Begin to bring the outside edges of the feet towards the ground. So taking that butterfly shape, laying down. I encourage you to reach your hands above head, opening in the shoulders and chest here as well. We've all heard that we hold stress in our shoulders and emotions in our hips. So by taking our butterfly pose like this with shoulders and hips open, we're able to release all of that energy. Finding stillness in the body just as we started our practice. Observing the thoughts and the emotions as they start to bubble up in our minds. To the outside edges of your legs. Gently begin to hug the knees into the chest, releasing from that opening shape. Taking this next moment or so to observe any final movement that your body may need, whether that's a spinal twist or a happy baby, perhaps legs up the wall or shoulder stand. Gently beginning to extend the arms and legs away from the body. Gently closing the eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open the mouth and exhale, letting all of that air out. Softening into your final pose of Shavasana. Allow movement back into the body, wiggling fingers and toes, or rocking the head side to side. Begin to reach your hands above your head, toes long beneath you. Inhale as you lengthen for a full body stretch. And exhale to soften back into the mat. Gently hugging both knees into your chest, giving them a final squeeze here. Maybe even curling forehead up to knees. Before releasing into a fetal position on the right or left side. Allowing your head to gently rest on your arm. With as little effort as possible, pressing yourself up to a seated shape. Bringing one hand to your heart, one hand to the earth to ground yourself. Take this time to seal your practice with gratitude. Inhale to reach your hands up high to the sky. Exhale to bring your hands together to heart center, honoring your practice. With love and so much light. Om Shanti Namaste.